You're watching the Ship on Day 1 Field Guide. I'm Hans. Let's get ship done. You're probably watching this video because you're interested in test automation. And test automation can mean a lot of different things to different people. When we talk about it here, we mean automatically running any tests that you might be manually running today. And there are three specific types of tests that I'd like to talk about. The first is Blackbox, and this is probably closest to the manual tests that you run today. In Blackbox testing, you put inputs into your entire program, measure the outputs, and then compare the inputs to the outputs to make sure that your entire program acts as expected. The second type of testing is unit testing, and this is where you have a specific unit or function of your code. You pass in an input and make sure that what comes back is the expected output. For unit tests, these are very quick running tests. They won't talk to databases and they won't talk to services. You should be able to run your unit tests with your computer completely disconnected from the internet and not running any types of databases. The third type of test that I'd like to talk about is integration tests. When you write an integration test, you're testing a portion of your project or a portion of your software similar to unit, but you're passing in an input and taking out an output and comparing those, but you're also letting your program make calls out to services or databases. So, when you think about it, Blackbox testing is testing your application on a macro level. Unit testing is testing on a micro level, and integration testing is somewhere in between. It's making sure that your code that you're writing is more likely to integrate with the other applications and the other databases that make up your ecosystem. When a test automation system is running efficiently, you'll notice many benefits. First of all, you'll notice that tests run quickly, and that means that you can run them early and often, likely when you're writing the code itself. Second of all, you'll notice that you'll have a high degree of confidence in the code that you're writing, knowing that you're probably not introducing new bugs. However, there are some symptoms of a less than optimal test automation system, and these can include slow tests, which developers are likely to turn off, or tests that are very fragile and break even when the underlying code is working correctly. And finally, probably most likely, you might notice that you have many manual steps that you still need to run in order to test your code. If you notice any or all of these symptoms, you might want to think about making some changes to your test automation system. When making changes, it's important to be intentional, to make sure that they're working for you and your team and your projects in particular. Over at shiponday1.com, we've created the Field Guide, and it's a growing list of tools, tactics, and techniques in order to help you expand your test automation system. In addition, we have a video series on scaling, optimizing, and measuring test automation. You can find both of those resources, as well as so many more, over at shiponday1.com. I'll see you there. Thanks.